Hello viewers, I'm Priyanka from Business Northeast. Today we have Executive Vice President of AISECT, Mr. Siddhartha Chaturvedi, and we welcome you to the show, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sir, we are really interested to know about today's event, which is taking place.
Yes. So AISECT, Priyanka ji, is a social enterprise, and we work with the vision of creating impact in the social sector, working through the areas of skills, higher education, financial inclusion, capacity building of a lot of students as well as SHGs. And also, we work in technology areas of online learning and providing aggregation of jobs and so on. Essentially, the entire motive is to empower rural communities, empower youth, empower entrepreneurs in the rural community, and help them participate in the India growth story which is happening. So, with that context, we held a 2-day conclave yesterday and today of our partners from the northeastern region of all the 7 states, people who have been associated with us for the last 15 years, 20 years, working with us in spreading skills, spreading digital literacy, spreading services, spreading financial inclusion initiatives. And this is a consultative meeting where we are seeking more ideas, new feedback in terms of how we can expand our range of services, how we can expand the reach of our impact, and what are the opportunities to collaborate with the local ecosystem players and bring some of the national level initiatives to the northeastern region. So that is how this initiative, which happened yesterday and today, shaped up.
Okay. So, can you please tell us AISECT's long-term plan in the area of skill education and education as a whole across India?
Yeah. So AISECT has been a firm believer of skills as an important instrument of bringing change, skills as an important instrument being the backbone of India's overall vision of being a developed nation, the Viksit Bharat call which has been given for the country. So I believe unless the youth are empowered, unless we have the right skills, it is very difficult to get that kind of growth momentum for our country. And be it any sector, agriculture, manufacturing, or services, skills are going to be the game changer in the coming days. More than 54% of the population in India is under 25 years of age. We have a very large working force which is there. So, all these things point out to the urgency of bringing skills right in the forefront, bringing skills on the agenda for government, for CSR, for industry partners alike. We are working on a couple of initiatives where we are working on entry level skills which cater to mass level of jobs. We are working on future skills which are targeting skills related to cyber security, AI, data science, machine learning for the jobs of tomorrow. We are running a flagship program connecting women with skills because the participation of women in workforce is still very low in India. And I think if we equip them with the right skills, we will be able to increase their participation in the workforce. We are also working heavily in integrating skills with formal education, both at school segment and higher education segment. Today, we work with around 2,500 schools across the country, integrating vocational training for the students of 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students. So, this integration is an important one. We're also working on the apprenticeship promotion, which is an important tool for providing on the job training, for providing training while being on the shop floor, and including students who are already working in the industries also in the skilling or the upskilling drive. Um, I would also like to mention that apart from this, we're also doing a lot of work in the blended model where a lot of delivery is happening through our own edtech portal, our own learning management system, and we are supporting this online delivery with our physical centers which are present. So I believe there is a lot of scope potential for organizations like ours to work in the skills area, and for the next 10 years we have an absolute great window for the entire country If we can catch this window and get ahead of the skills game, I think nobody can stop India to become a superpower.
Okay. So how AISECT is trying to expand in the rural or the undeserved areas, and how technology and digital platform is helping to do your things?
So, from the very beginning, AISECT's focus of work has been rural and semi-urban parts of the country. Today, we have our presence in almost 400 districts out of 650 in the country. We are present in almost 2000 blocks in the country. We are also present in a couple of thousands of panchayats through our centers. It is very essential to uh, work in these areas if we have to bring long term change, if we have to work at the grassroots level to bring change in the society. So, we now have a method of identifying the administrative structure of a particular state, and then going from the administrative structure down to the level of districts, to the level of blocks, and the level of panchayats which are there. We try and refer to secondary sources of data available. We also do our primary survey in terms of which services, which products, which areas have potential, and then accordingly our field team helps us in getting more partners onboarded. And on the back end, we are also expanding our menu of services. So with each passing gap of 4 to 5 years, we are able to onboard a service which is of demand for the population. So earlier we were opening common service centers under the National E-Governance Plan. That gave us a lot of partners. Then we onboarded a lot of partners who were interested in working for the UID enrollments. Then we onboarded a lot of partners for working as the FI or banking kiosk. And similarly, it has to be linked with expanding of the menu at the central level, identifying the right entrepreneur through our field force. And once the entrepreneur is identified, we do a lot of hand holding, support, orientation, continuous engagement, so that the partner stays with the network for a long time.
Okay. So how AISECT is trying to bridge the gap between traditional education and what is required for the industry these days?
So in India, unfortunately, in the last couple of years, we have created silos for vocational training and formal education separately. Uh, Till very recently, there was no chance for anybody who's a dropout from formal education to come back, or somebody who's a dropout from formal education to pursue vocational training after from a certain level onwards. Uh, Also, there is a lot of aspirational issue in our country when it comes to vocational training. We still, in our minds, our parents value a formal degree more than the vocational training. But fortunately, some of these things are changing. From the government guidelines point of view, now we have the national curriculum framework. We have the multi-entry, multi-exit provision which is coming in, and we have a seamless way in which formal education students can go to vocational training and vocational students can come to formal education. In our way, we are trying to bridge this gap by embedding a lot of skilling programs in our courses, in our universities, in the higher education programs. So each of our higher education programs also comes with embedded skill programs, and that helps in the employability of students. That gives the students some additional certificates, and this is how we are able to bridge the gap. At the school level, as I mentioned, we are spreading vocational training as an additional subject, and our trainers are now a part of the school ecosystem, where apart from their regular subjects of maths, science, and so on, vocational is also one of the subjects. We're not only stopping at that, but we are also conducting placement drives after 12th standard, and students who don't want to pursue higher education but would like to get into employment, we are also facilitating those students. It's only when we bring skills back into the formal classrooms of colleges, universities, schools, that we will be able to make skills into a mainstream topic.
Okay, so I'm interested to know, like you said that ASEC is associated with many vocational training and skill development training. What kind of collaboration ASEC is exploring or already formed to strengthen this capacity of vocational training
Yeah.
and all this skill development?
Correct. So we have been fortunate to work with a lot of partners whom we have collaborated in last several years. The first kind of collaborations which we have done is with our industry partners,
Mhm.
and we gather a lot of demand from them. We customize programs for them. We also help them source the students, get an initial screening test done, train the students according to the industry demand, and then finally place the students there.
Mm.
We also work with industry partners for the apprenticeship model
Mm.
and help them fill their apprentices posts also. So the first segment with whom we collaborate is industry. Second, we also collaborate with a lot of CSR and foundation firms and help them run large scale livelihoods, employability, skilling programs in their preferred geography, backed with complete data in terms of monitoring, impact assessment, and so on. The third set is a lot of government and semi government organizations which look for credible partners for their skilling, upskilling, employment generation, employability related projects. So we do that as well. And then we have a core team, a think tank within the organization, which is constantly researching, scanning the market, scanning the trends to come up with new programs again and again to cater to the needs. So with this ecosystem, we are able to collaborate also, and we are able to get the learning within the organization to launch new programs.
So how ASEC is leveraging on the new age technologies like AI, then data technology, data analysis, then other machine technology, and giving benefit to its beneficiaries.
So I would like to mention two uh, examples. One, we have set up a school of AVGC, which is animation, visual effects, multimedia, and so on. And we are doing a lot of skilling programs related to animation, multimedia, with live on the job training. And we are able to source live projects from studios where the students can do internships while studying these programs, and this is really helpful for the students. And AVGC sector has been identified as a sunrise sector for India. For many states now, they have a separate policy on AVGC, and I believe this will have a lot of demand for skilled manpower in future. And the second topic, the second example I would like to give for a future skill is programs on cyber security. We have a lot of demand not only from students but a lot of organizations and companies for whom we are also doing cyber security boot camps, cyber security workshops, and so on. A third example would be courses on AR and VR. We have set up a center of excellence in Bhopal on AR and VR, and we would like to extend that center of excellence to offer programs in AR VR development, and those programs are also quite in demand. So we have recently started working in e-waste recycling technician as one of the courses which has come up as a demand. So I believe we have to be very agile and very forward looking to be able to identify which future skills and technology are going to be useful for creating programs for future.
Okay. So what challenges ASEC is facing in various sectors like infrastructure development or funding or policy change in terms of scaling up its project? There must
Yeah.
be something.
No, so lot of times we have given our suggestions, and there are a few challenges. Some are societal challenges, as I mentioned. It's a mindset issue. We also have an aspirational gap for skilling and vocational training courses that will probably be sorted out with due course of time. In other cases, access to the right kind of capital and funding for scaling up initiatives which have done well in one particular district or a block or a geography or a state to other states. That is something which I think is still a gap. And if we are able to solve it through technology, identify the proposals and identify the initiatives which have worked well, bring them on a platform and connect them with the right set of investors and agencies which are willing to support, which are willing to provide a grant or provide a soft loan, that will be a big catalyst for expanding the initiatives in the social sector. I think there is a lot of good work which is happening, but it is happening in silos and happening at a small scale. Many of them are not able to scale up their initiatives. So that is one fundamental challenge.
Okay, the last question. How AISECT is adding corporate social responsibility in its model, and how these initiatives are helping both in rural and urban areas?
So corporate social responsibility is a big game changer. I think AISECT has benefited from the CSR rules. We've been able to partner not only with large corporates, but with now companies of the medium and small scale size also, and help them and guide them in investment of their CSR budget at the right areas. We have been able to also get a lot of innovative work done through CSR budget in absolute rural areas for some of the PSUs like Coal India Limited or SBI or other PSUs which are there. I think uh, if we are able to utilize the overall CSR budget better and redirect them to solve the local challenges and problems with proper data and impact measurement, we have a large capital which is available to be deployed back into the country. Even today, some of the large scale funding and capital is coming from global foundations, but India is no less, and we are not very far behind in terms of philanthropic capital, in terms of spending back for the society. Only we need to channelize that fund and that vision in a better manner and bring it back to solve our own challenges.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We have learned a lot about the institute, and there are a lot many things to come. I am sure viewers will be benefited from your interview. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for hosting me, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure here too, sir.